Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ebony Coleman, nurse practitioner in functional medicine, and I love helping people heal and actually understand what's going on with their body. I help people get out of fight or flight, heal their gut, understand what their body's communicating with them, and get to the root cause so we can address those issues and understand what's driving that illness, what's driving that disease and chronic concerns. If you're between the ages 30 and 50 and you're feeling like you've tried all the things, all the supplements, all the prescriptions, you can't get rid of that brain fog, you can't get rid of that belly fat, you can't get rid of those aches and pains, this is for you. One thing that I always explain to clients is that all disease starts in the gut. That's what Hippocrates, who's known as the father of medicine, said over 2,000 years ago. Because our gut links to our brain, our hormones, our inflammation, triggers, our digestion, of course, our nutrition, the ability for us to absorb foods and building blocks so we can repair and regenerate, it really has a huge impact in our outcomes and what we can do to overcome concerns, overcome stressors. And those stressors can be from anything, as I've mentioned from previous videos. Today we're going to talk about digestion, and I just want to give you some tools that you can implement today and this week to start making those shifts. Because as I've noticed and as I've worked with clients, I understand that as you get momentum, you can get motivation. A lot of times we start with motivation and it trails off, right? You start a new workout program, you start a new nutrition plan, and over time, yes, you do see results, but you lose that motivation because it's only on you. But instead, if we start with momentum, if we start understanding why disease processes are occurring, if we start understanding how exactly we can make those shifts and have better outcomes, then we're gonna get the momentum, motivation, and they'll feed off of each other one after the other. As always, this is not medical advice. Anything that we talk about on this channel, I always want you to check with your PCP so that way they can talk with you and walk you through appropriate steps for your specific health. I just love to educate and share information so you have the tools to ask and maybe further research your own information in your own body. So in digestion, it's super important to understand that digestion starts with your brain, right? As you're seeing foods, as you're listening to cooking sounds, as you're smelling foods, all of those senses are eating, they're intaking information, intaking chemicals, intaking whatever's in your environment. And so as you're doing that, your brain starts to tell your body and saying, hey, we need more stomach acid to be produced. We have some protein, carbs, and fats that are going to be absorbed. We have some food coming down the pipe. And so we want to start making those pancreatic enzymes, those bile acids to receive the food and be able to optimize the nutrition we're going to have. Now, the trick is it's up to you, right? What foods are you going to fuel your body with? And I know it sounds easier than it is, right? We've been taught so long that we need so many grains, so many proteins, so many fats in our diet. And the science is changing all the time. So I fully understand and empathize with the understanding that it's confusing. Everything is everywhere. And so we don't know what to do. We've tried all these things. We start it for a couple weeks, it doesn't work, or it does. And then we get lost, we get discouraged. And so one, I understand, I've been there. I am there, like this is an ongoing process. And I think that's one of the most empowering things we can obtain is that understanding that this is a daily decision. You can choose things that are gonna bring you healing, or you can choose things that are gonna bring you towards disease. And it's a daily decision where you have a lot of control, and it can either be scary or empowering. And I choose to look at it as an empowering aspect. Okay, yesterday I may have had something that doesn't agree with my body, but today I can choose to change that. I can choose foods that I know that are going to be helpful. I can choose foods that are bringing healing and fiber and polyphenols, right? And so super excited you're here. I definitely going to give you 3 tips for us to implement at the end of this video, so stay tuned and let's get into it. When you see a meal, when you look at something, like I said, your brain triggers your body and says, hey, we're going to be receiving food. I can smell a certain amount of components in the food that are going to help us make the exact amount of digestive enzymes and acids and juices that we need to break down that food. So one of the things I see when people start to have reflux and bloating and constipation or diarrhea, is that a quick thing to do is allow your body to digest better. Give your body the time it needs to process that foods. Like I said, chewing better and eating slower is really what we need to give our body the time to optimize and pull out those nutrients to be able to utilize that for our bodies correctly. We have to stop eating on the go. We have to stop scrolling on our phones. We have to stop rushing through our meals. I know for me, like growing up in a single parent household, we were always on the go. We were always on the way to church every single night, it seemed like, which I'm so grateful for. However, I started eating foods that were super hot and I scarfed them down within 5 minutes. And now that I understand that my body, I was literally like kind of self-abusing in a way, because I didn't give my body the time it needed to process that food, to break it down correctly, and it just went through my system too quickly, and I didn't make enough enzymes to break that food down. And so now that I know better, it's still a struggle, right? Because I learned a process that became a habit over years and years, and now that I'm almost 40, it's hard to break that habit, but it can be done. We just have to, one, have the motivation to do it, which is understanding the why, and then practice it and implement it on a daily basis. If we don't change this, our digestion will remain weak. We can't improve that process, and those symptoms will continue to show up. Are you chewing it quickly to get it down? Do you like it when it's super hot, spicy, all the things? Or are you taking the time to enjoy and savor the food and enjoy the textures of the food and the different flavors that come out? As we change our gut microbiome, it's amazing to see that our cravings change and our taste buds change. So as we're chewing food at longer period of time, it's so important for us to recognize that, have a state of gratitude as we're chewing and as we're processing that food. I know for me, I'm a processor of information. I receive information and I like to be accurate in things with my type A self. And so when I'm recognizing that, I also need to implement that with my digestion. How can I better improve my chewing? Make sure you chew it all the way down till it's like a paste, and allow that bolus of food to become chyme, and as you're swallowing, it'll go down to your stomach, and your stomach will have enough time to have made the appropriate amount of stomach acid to change the pH of that food and break it down further. So here are some warning signs that your digestion may be off. It may be bloating, it may be reflux, it may be belching, it may be rotten egg gas, right? So it's really stinky gas. You may have constipation. A quick tip is to know that we should be pooping 1 to 3 times a day. The poop should look 6 to 12 inches long and smooth and banana appearing. So if your poop has cracks or bumps in it, we want to make sure that we're doing things to adjust that. So a quick tip for that is hydration. Hydration is the #1 way that people are constipated. And side note, if you're having loose stools, it can be a sign of constipation. So it's really important for us to really hone in on what's going on physiologically and hone in on what's going on anatomically to see if there's any physical issues, and if not, figure out what's going on in our gut. Okay, so here we're gonna go over 3 quick tips for us to implement to improve your digestion today. 1, pause before you eat. Take deep breaths. Take the time to have that gratitude that we talked about. And that really is going to allow you to inhale the food, allow your brain to signal to your body, your stomach, your pancreas, your gallbladder, all the things that, hey, we have food coming down. Boost up those digestive juices, boost up the processes we need to break it down better. Pray, give thanks, and relax. All of those things can help you to have a pause before you eat and have better digestion. One thing we don't think about is that stress stops digestion, right? If we're in a fight or flight mode, we're not gonna get the blood flow we need to our digestive system to break it down. We're gonna be focusing on fight or flight. Like if there's a lion in front of us, what can we do to get rid of that lion? We're gonna be able to run or fight that lion. And so we do not need to be pooping. We do not need to be breaking down food. We're in fight or flight. So pausing and taking that deep breath can really help you to have better outcomes with your digestion and absorption. Also, chewing. It's important to chew 20 to 30 times per bite. And I know it seems tedious, but truly, especially when you're eating harder foods like proteins and meats, it's really important for us to chew it appropriately so that way you're not causing issues with your gut lining. Everyone has a small cell layer of gut lining that goes throughout their entire digestive system. It's called the endothelial lining. And so if we have huge chunks of food going down there, it's gonna tear a hole in that lining and you're gonna have issues for leaky gut. Just to go over leaky gut really quickly is all of our gut lining needs to be permeable, right? We need to be able to pass nutrients and fluids appropriately. However, when we have tears in that gut lining, kind of think of like a cheesecloth that has tears in it, you're gonna leak out more things than you need to, like bacteria that's supposed to remain in your gut. So with leaky gut, it's important that we are keeping the bacteria in our gut that's supposed to be pooped out and allowing the foods and particles of food to be absorbed. But again, if we have leaky gut and there's tears in that gut lining, then you're gonna be leaking bacteria into that gut lining or into your lymph system. You're gonna be leaking food particles into that lymph system. And so people can notice over time that when they weren't allergic to bananas before or as a child, they start to become allergic or to shrimp or whatever ingredient that you've noticed you're having skin rashes or skin changes or acne or breakouts to. That's all can be related to leaky gut. And the third tip is just to eat in a community. It's really important to know that we were made for community. We were made to be around people. Sharing laughter, sharing jokes, sharing stories with others, people that you love, is really important while you're eating because it puts you in that state and it further supports that state of rest and digest in parasympathetic mode. So let's keep the healing journey going. If this was helpful for you, make sure you're writing in the chat below. Write any questions or comments you have. Have you tried these tips? Have you tried things like this to help you improve your digestion? And what's going on with your digestion? Me and my team are always looking out for ways for us to improve and help answer questions. We want to be a resource for you. If you have not heard of functional medicine and you want to learn more about that and how to heal from things like high blood pressure, high cholesterol, diabetes, brain fog, illnesses, any chronic illness, really, functional medicine can be a support to you. You can go to my website, wellnessredefined.org, to learn more, as well as ifm.org. That's the Institute of Functional Medicine, where Dr. Mark Hyman is a teacher there, an educator there, and that's where I learned a lot of this information along with my own personal experience and what I've helped others do. If you're looking for a practitioner in your state and you want to look and see how you can heal outside of fight or flight and get out of fight or flight mode, reach out to me. I'd love to be a resource for you. As always, follow us on all the platforms, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and of course YouTube, so you can stay tuned and learn how to implement these things quickly and efficiently to get to the root cause. Because friends, in this channel, we love to break down healthcare in a way that actually makes sense and that's attainable, and that we are empowered to make decisions that are gonna be insightful and helpful not only for you, but your family and friends. So if this was helpful, make sure you share it with a friend, a family member that can implement these things. They're having issues with bloating, brain fog, abdominal pain, all the things. Comment below if you learned something new today or if you're intrigued by something that made you have an aha moment. And I'm super excited to continue learning and growing with you. Make sure you're tuning in on Fridays where we will be posting new videos, and make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Talk to you soon.